I even remember how video games work? Hopefully. Okay, the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. Resolve. Case 3. Case 3, we got done with the trial and started doing more investigation. Or, I mean, not done with the trial, but done with the first day of the trial. Which involved a great many Europeans. And their various accents. Amazing that they have so many accents across a single country. What to do? Do you know? No, that's why I asked you. I honestly thought I might never have the opportunity to return to Great Britain. And certainly not so soon. It's funny, for the past 6 months I haven't been able to work in court. Meanwhile, you've been raising a storm in the Supreme Court of Judicature back in Japan. Please, Mr. Naruhodo, I may have been dressed as a man, but it was a very reserved performance. So what your father said in his letter about a Ryutaro takedown is reserved? Well, anyway, I'm back here in this great capital now, and ready to assist you again in any way I can. Thank you, Miss Susato. It's my pleasure, Mr. Naruhodo. Alright, let's gonna move on. Let's go to... oh, I don't know. Why is this closed? Oh, they don't want me to go there. So just to review what we had figured out last time, our guy had been saying up, down, left, and right that yes, we definitely teleported the guy. And people, there were eyewitnesses like, oh yes, he appeared out of midair, and the cage came crashing down. The teleportation definitely worked. And then they were like, well, no, there was actually another balloon there. There was a balloon that was green. It wasn't the same color as the main balloon guy's other balloons. They looked, and it didn't look like anyone was inside the basket, although we think that perhaps his... I don't remember how far we got in suggesting this, but I think we're going with he was actually already dead in the balloon part of the balloon. And then it was... oh, that's right. They testified that he was like, yes, I saw my business partner shoot a crossbow. And I guess we're just like, well, you're still subject number one in the, or suspect number one in the murder, but we'll investigate some more anyway. I had no idea there were so many people in the world. Well, there are. I know what you mean. It's really packed here today. I hear it's also packed all over the place. Wherever you go, there's people. It feels as though it's taken us 2 hours just to make our way through the crowds to this point. Has it? I shut my brain down. Because I played a puzzle game for like 5 minutes, and it made me a dum-dum. So I didn't really notice, to be honest. Gosh. I do wish I had your absence of mind sometimes, Mr. Naruhodo. Is this... it's Serp! Aside from Serp, who is it? With the question marks. Tally-hoey old Scobberlatcher! What have I done to earn such an appellation? Is it who? I feel you lot would show your mugs before long. Who is it? Oh, it's him. Inspector Gregson, I see you're hard at work as usual. Warm greetings to you. I do hope you've been keeping well since last we met. As well as ceremony. We just saw each other in court this morning. Not you, Sunshine, the gentlewoman so loyally at your side. Oh. Why, thank you, Inspector. How good of you to notice. He might be a bit rough around the edges, but he's still a proper English gentleman at heart, I suppose. As you probably guessed, we were hoping to investigate the scene some more. Right. Well, that's the young trainee's domain. Oi! Get over here, Gina. Too busy playing with dog. Official. Flights officially booked. Nice. Is it your first time visiting America? I don't recall. She seems to be busy playing with a puppy, probably giving it a traditional East End training. Gina? She's a police officer now? Get with the picture, Susato. First trip, exciting. It's too bad that Texas is a good 5,000 miles from where I might actually be closer to you now than I would be when you get to Texas, but oh, that's right, you've been to Japan, but that's the only place outside of Europe that you've been. Interesting. Amazing, isn't it? She's a good kid, actually. Heart's in the right place, anyway. She's got the detection bug, if you ask me. Yep, I think she'll follow in my footsteps nicely. What do you mean? I'm being transferred. It's time for me to say toodaloo to London. Oh no, really? That's a bit sudden, isn't it? I had no idea. Where are you going to be posted, then? We'll come see how you're getting along. Not likely, but you're welcome to try. If you don't mind a trip to France, that is. To France? I'll be working in the Paris Police Prefecture. Should be right up my alley. But France! It's an entirely different country, you don't say. I don't understand. Why would you be sent there? That's the way the adult world works, sunshine. Now don't go poking your nose in where it's not wanted. He'll have to switch to a fish and baguettes. You can put fish in a baguette, can't you? Not with that attitude. I'm intending to take the kid with me when I go. What? You're taking Gina to Paris? Well, I can't leave her here in London. Who knows what'll become of her. I suppose he's worried she'd slip back into slipping her hands into people's pockets and purses. Yeah, I'm in New York. Upstate New York. It might not. Am I exaggerating? The Atlantic Ocean, I do believe, is large. I have heard. I don't think he's worried about her pickpocketing, Mr. Naruhodo. I think he's worried about the Reaper. Oh, of course. So that's playing on Inspector Gregson's mind too, is it? Steamed ham. It's funny because the place where the last place that I worked, there were actually, like, our team was split across two locations. One, like, just outside of Albany, and the other in Utica. And the one time we made a steamed ham reference, the guys in Utica didn't get it. They hadn't seen that Simpsons thing. Which was great. Anyway, I haven't mentioned any of this to Gina, so don't go blabbing, you hear me? No, of course not. I've got to keep that diving diva safe and sound. Until all this is over, at least. Oh, did you just call me a bloomin' diving diva again? So you heard that, did you? Right, well. Any questions about the scene, you can put it in my capable detective diva here. Alright, you heard the boss. Inspector Lestrade's in charge here now. I suppose I'd better keep my word and not mention anything about Paris. So, Gina, are you going to Paris? I mean, you've got a new dog, have you? Isn't he great? Toby's his name. Oh, how delightful. He's absolutely adorable. Yes, the dog does seem lovely. But it's the not-so-lovely Inspector Gregson that's playing on my mind, to be honest. Are you excited for 6.1, Serp? I am. New Alliance raid. I do... Oh my god. I have to do a bunch more PvP before the patch hits. Because I'm close to getting a couple more Frontline achievements. And Frontline is going to become very unpopular as soon as Crystal Conflict comes out. I imagine. And I am going to do a bunch of because I'm pretty sure the way they're going to do it is all of the achievements that currently apply to the feast, or the feast and the fold, which I don't even remember what the fold is, but there's achievements that are like, oh, get, just 100 kills on a white mage in the feast or the fold. And it's like they'll just change that over to Crystal Conflict, and the points will carry over, so I can get those then. But Frontline, I'm sure, is going to become less popular. I'm also excited about the little like make your character plate thing. Like the beginning, the opening of Crystal Conflict, when it's like you get to see the team of 5 and the other team of 5 like you were playing League, and you see everybody's, what skins everyone's using. And I think that'll be fun. And Singer Extreme, yeah, I'll probably, this will be the first time in a long time going, like, I'm going to, stream as soon as a patch comes out, except I am accustomed to going to sleep a couple hours before this patch hits, as opposed to being up all night. So, I'll be setting my alarm, I guess. And then probably streaming just the, I don't know, just the Alliance raid, maybe? I don't usually stream MSQ. What else was there? What else are they adding that I might do? I mean, I could try doing Endsinger Extreme blind on stream. I don't know how that'll go, though. Okay. Gina, we were actually hoping we could investigate the scene again. Yeah, alright. If it's around here, you can do what you like. Oh, that's alright, is it? I'm gonna be playing with my new friend here. Ah, yes. Toby. Bark. Bark, bark, woof. The machine that exploded must be at the top of those stairs, I presume. I haven't actually seen it yet, so if you don't mind. Sorry, you can't go up there, Suze. Oh, you just fucking said that we could. It's like I told Otto yesterday, even I ain't allowed near that wreck. What's it called again? The reason we ain't supposed to touch it. The Special Dispensation for Scientific Equipment Act. Odd Garrett, you are correct. There are a lot of windows in that tower. Oh yeah, the Roll Quest finale. Oh, should I do that? That might be long. It seemed like it was going to be more than just like a quick, oh, ta-da, you got the things. Yeah, maybe I will do that too. And I saw the trailer and I watched the whole live letter. That's the one. That's why only them lot are allowed to investigate it. What are they called again? The forensic something? The forensic investigation team? Is that what you were thinking of? That's the one, yeah. But isn't it the case that the special dispensation has been lifted? Yeah, I thought that was the whole point of how court ended yesterday. I don't think so. I don't really get it, to be truthful with you. You're still supposed to get permission from some bigwig from some bigwig or other, as far as I know. What was his name again? Lord Strange something. I'm not sure that's quite right, Gina. I think you mean Lord Strongheart, perhaps. That's the one, yeah. Apparently he's always watching the time or something. So without Lord Strongheart's permission, express permission, we can't investigate the stage. It was great, wasn't it? I had a right laugh. It was a new one on me, that. You know, being in court and not spending the whole time worrying I'm about to be found out. You did keep an awful lot of secrets in all your previous court appearances, didn't you? Yeah, and Otto's made things hard for me every single time and all. I'm just doing my job, Gina. But watching someone else get it in the neck is a lot of fun, actually. It was amazing when you showed that dodgy professor's dodgy experiment was a total fix. The dodgy professor, as you put it, Gina, is Mr. Naruhodo's client. Yes, I'm starting to wish he wasn't, though. It's the boss I feel sorry for. Sent off to do the impossible. What do you mean? He's supposed to arrest that other cove, ain't he? And in time for tomorrow and all. You know, the dodgy engineer. What's his name again? Mr. Drebber, you mean? Enoch Drebber. That's the one, yeah. So the police are... Our response to everything has been, what is that called? Oh, yeah, that's it. So the police are looking for the mysterious black man with... the mysterious man with the black monocle. I guess they would be. He's putting too much on the boss, if you ask me. He says he's giving him gut ache. Oh dear. But I do wonder if that isn't actually from all the fried food. So Scotland Yard are trying to track down Mr. Enoch Drebber. I wonder if they've had any luck. He's very funny looking. Got two eyes that don't match. Like a Final Fantasy XIV character, ain't it? Stole a glimpse of a picture of him earlier. I mean, I didn't actually pinch it or nothing. The old devil's got it. Sorry? Who? You know, that Scowling Reaper was always glugging down glasses of that blood-red plonk. Plonk? Ah, Lord Van Zeeks. He's always at it in for me, that cove. Don't know what he's always scowling about, mind. Probably would have been a pretty good boss as it goes. She'd rather be the Reaper's apprentice than a detective's trainee? The way I see it, if the choice is between a chip-guzzling detective and a chalice-glugging demigod, you're equally badly off with both. I suppose you're right. I hadn't thought of it like that. Glad we put that one to bed. Anyway, the point is, everyone at the yard's dead set on finding a fishy engineer. But there don't seem to be no more clues to go on, so they're stuck. There's nothing that can lead us to Drebber at all? Plonk is usually specifically cheap wine. I see. The first I've encountered that. Where did you find that little mutt then, Gina? Oi! Don't be so flaming rude, Otto. A slight overreaction, don't you think? It's only a dog. He ain't no mutt, alright? Toby's... how did they put it? Oh yeah, a bona fide detective. Sorry? I've given him a proper title and everything. It's Chief Inspector Toby to you. More senior than Inspector Gregson, is he? Oh, so he's a police dog, is he? The police recruit dogs now? I've heard they're already being used officially in Germany as part of their city policing. They're used for chasing criminals and such like. They have a wonderful sense of smell, after all. I have a fairly good sense of smell myself, as it happens. I can tell undergarments that have been freshly laundered from undergarments that haven't. That's how you save on laundry. That's nothing compared to this little fellow, Otto. Oh, really? According to what the boss said, once Toby has got a good whiff of your drawers, he could chase that scent to the other side of the world. What? To the other side of the world? You mean he can swim? Mr. Naruhodo, I think you may have missed the point, by rather a wide margin. Vienna to New York is almost exactly 3 times the distance from New York to Houston. Well, okay. I suppose. I just can't believe this little dog has such an incredible skill. I'm telling you, Otto, there's going to be more and more dogs doing a bit for the police in the future. Yes! I agree. Right. One of these days they'll be barking orders at us lot, not the other way around. Oh dear. Sorry, Gina. I don't think I agree with your vision quite that much. Well, anyway, whatever you think about that, Toby is Britain's first police dog. I found him down in the East End the other day. Someone had just chucked him out on the street. There you go. I knew she'd lifted him from somewhere. Oh, Gina, you're such a kind-hearted soul, aren't you? To children and to animals. But nobody that matters. Is there anything I should, like, give to her? Oops. Present. This is the thing that's on the ground behind you. Just take a look. Oh, what? Oh, right. She steals things. So if we go to his office, he should maybe give us permission to... Who's he talking to? Oh, who's that standing beside Lord Strongheart? I wonder. I've never seen her before. Have we ever done this before, where we have one of the characters, like, looking into the... the back? She just did it in the other scene, too. But it's like, Phoenix Wright characters only ever face you. They never face away. Not, like, 180 degrees face away. Oh, no, wait, what's her name did? Maybe the one time? Who am I thinking of? Viola? Viola Cadaverini? The young champion of the court. No, was that his voice? The young champion of the court. You had some success this morning, I understand. And you've thrown the entire government into disarray as a result. Oh! You mean because of Professor Harebrain's experiment? Sham science being demonstrated at London's Great Exhibition. The country's been made to look foolish, and now politicians are scrabbling to respond. Lord Van Zeeks is in Whitehall as we speak, giving an emergency briefing. Oh dear, I didn't mean to cause any trouble. None of this is your responsibility. The government is entirely to blame for having been taken in. The special dispensation that prevents investigation at the scene will be annulled later today. Once that happens, my forensic investigation team will move in and deal with that scrap metal in no time. It's scrap metal now, is it? Until later then, Lord Strongheart. Yes, thank you. Is that I've never actually seen any of the Harry Potter movies, so I don't know what Snape sounds like. Who was that? That was Dr. Courtney Sith, Scotland Yard's esteemed chief coroner. I mean, I guess I've heard Alan Rickman in something else that doesn't occur to me at the moment, but no, I wasn't really going for Alan Rickman. I don't know. She is leading the forensic investigation team's handling of this case. She was just delivering her report about the victim, in fact. Oh, I see. About Mr. Asman. Following the outcome of the trial earlier, I asked the coroner's office to reevaluate its findings. I don't have time to tell you what she concluded. If you want to know, you'll have to ask her directly. You can find her in the forensics laboratory. Ah, right. Now, what were you here to see me about? I can give you 7 minutes and 39 seconds of my time. So he's not running quite so spectacularly late anymore. He was just going to take a 7-minute nap, probably, and I am interrupting him. What exactly is the forensic investigation team that you mentioned before? The British Empire's police force must become the most exemplary in the world. For that to happen, it's imperative that we embrace forensic science and everything it has to offer. I first created the forensic investigation team a year ago now, unofficially of course, to pave the way. Goodness, a year ago? At next month's symposium, I intend to present the results of their work to the world. Once I do that, the House of Lords will be powerless to oppose the creation of a full-scale forensics division. And once that happens, the position of Attorney General would be mine, and criminals will suffer dearly. What do you mean? For too long, those scoundrels have made a mockery of our legal system, with fake evidence, bribes. But London's scum is about to be rounded up and burnt in the fires of hell. He's going to be the chief incinerator. It's quite an upgrade. Incinerate means to burn.
I intend to see to it personally. By creating the finest police force the world has ever known to protect our honor and our future. Doves for emphasis.
Look at those eyes. He means every word.
Dr. Sith is an extremely reliable coroner. When I officially establish the forensics division at Scotland Yard, she will run it as my right-hand woman. Now then, speaking of the symposium, Miss Mikotoba.
Oh, yes, my lord.
Your father should be on the high seas as we speak, making his way here to represent the Empire of Japan.
Mrs. Sith has a dark side, you say? See what you did there. Yes, that's right. I understand he will arrive at the beginning of next month. Are you acquainted, Lord Strongheart? With Professor Mikotoba, I mean?
It was many years ago now, but yes, I remember Dr. Mikotoba very well. If my memory serves, it was some 15 years ago now that your father came to Britain as a visiting student.
Ah, Jugonen Mai. It was the year I was born. So yes, 16 years ago, in fact.
Mikotoba was a young practitioner of forensic science, and Jigoku accompanied him as a young, promising judge.
Doctor? I suppose they did say she was a doctor.
The punctiliousness and politeness of the Japanese at the time impressed us greatly. Not that I wish to imply impoliteness or carelessness on your part in any way.
I didn't think that you were.
Dr. Mikotoba studied forensics at one of London's large hospitals. St. Sinners, if I'm not mistaken. Dr. Sith was also there then, as it happens.
Then Dr. Sith knows my father, does she?
She was a young medical student at the time, so I doubt their paths crossed regularly. But I've no doubt they knew each other superficially. After all, Dr. Mikotoba was here studying his subject for some 6 years in total.
6 years? That's a long time to be studying abroad, isn't it? I lived with my grandmother in those years. So he left his newly born daughter behind and went overseas for 6 whole years. It was a rather turbulent time at home. Oh, perhaps Father wanted a reason to get away. What do you mean? Why? Well, clearly something was going on at the time, like she said. Like she literally said. Like she said right in your face. Dad just went overseas to get cigarettes for 6 years, that's all. I wanted to ask you about Lord Van Zieks, actually. I heard that his older brother was killed some years ago by a mass murderer known as the Professor, who targeted nobles and royalty. Is that right?
You Japanese are a thorough lot. You've done your research well. Yes. And you could say it was that very incident that gave rise to the Reaper.
What? Why?
When his brother, Clint Van Zieks, was murdered, it was just after young Barrack had graduated from the University of London and became a prosecutor. When obvious criminals who managed to evade conviction in court started disappearing, rumors quickly spread throughout the capital. Londoners started to say that wherever Barrack Von Zieks went, the ghost of his dead brother wasn't far behind.
Oh my word! So Lord Van Zieks isn't the Reaper. It's the ghost of his brother? Brother's still alive, calling it.
Ever since that time, he became a very aloof figure in London's legal circles.
Oh yes, Lord Strongheart.
Go ahead.
It's about Professor Harebrain's experimental machine. We'd like your permission to examine the remains, if possible.
Are you well versed in science, then?
Not in the slightest. In fact, you could say I was barely aware of the subject at all until recently.
Well, the special dispensation legally preventing investigation of the machine is currently being annulled. Within a few hours, Dr. Sith's team of forensic experts will begin their own investigation, but I suppose until then, there's no harm in you looking at the wreckage as long as you touch nothing.
Thank you. Being able to look at it is better than nothing. And I'll be able to see it too.
Your time is up. You'll have to excuse me now, I'm afraid. My next engagement calls.
We are extremely sorry to have troubled you when you are so busy, my lord.
I have important matters to attend to in preparation for the symposium, you understand.
Oh, and like that, he's gone. So we can now go to the... Oh, we can go to the forensics laboratory, or we could just go straight to the stage. Actually, I've already said if he... forgot if he said it was okay or not. I think he did. I think he said it's okay. Let's go. Oi, that's off limits up there. Try and sneak past me again, I'll stuff your gob full of the boss's fish and chips. I love fish and chips. I suppose we need... I thought he just... Did I actually forget? I thought he just said... Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, he completely freaking... Maybe I need to talk to her. Is that the problem? There we go. I was just trying to get the, fish and chips, bad ending. On purpose. Gina, we were actually hoping that we could investigate the scene again. Yeah, alright. If it's around here, you can do what you like. Oh, that's alright, is it? I'm gonna be playing with my new friend here. Yes, Toby. Woof. The machine that exploded must be at the top of those stairs, I presume. I haven't actually seen it yet, so if you don't mind. Sorry, you can't go up there, Suze. Oh. It's like I told Otto yesterday, even I ain't allowed near that wreck. What's it called again? We went through... Frickin' interrupt her. Interrupt her. This is new. Right? I mean, this isn't new, but... This option was new. Here we go. Actually, we've just recently been to see Lord Strongheart. You what? You've met him? Last time the boss was called to go and see him, he waited for 3 hours at the Cove's office and came back sniveling. Tragic. Well, Lord Strongheart has given us permission to examine the scene as long as we touch nothing. Oh yeah? Honestly. Alright then, go ahead. But if it turns out you're lying, it'll be the boss who gets it. He'll never eat another chip again in his life. So, you still saying all this is above board, are you? I'm sure everything will be fine. That really would be tragic. Alright then. Them's the stairs. Off you go. Oh, thank you, Gina. Those sure are the stairs. Let's go. Oh, I just caught that. She didn't go through six years at evil medical school to be called Mrs. Austin Towers. Bing. It made a bang. Oh my, so this is the machine that was used to deceive people into thinking instantaneous kinesis had taken place. Yes, that's right. Or rather, it was the machine. It's a little worse for wear at the moment. What extraordinary lengths Professor Harebrain went in order to obtain the research grant. No. The professor was tricked as well. He didn't know anything about it. Yes, of course. It is amazing, though, isn't it? The scale of the whole affair is so very British. You're right about that. You'd never see such a grand deception in Japan, that's for sure. All of our court cases are extremely straightforward. Nobody schemes or anything. Oh, look, is that... Lord Van Zieks? So, I think we're more or less done here, aren't we? Shall we, Miss Susano? Already? He is the Reaper, remember? He's not. You just said his brother, the ghost of his brother, is the Reaper. We'd do well to keep our distance, I think. But we have permission to be here, from the top. We're perfectly well allowed to investigate this machine, as long as we don't touch anything. From the top? Do you mean Lord Strongheart? Exactly. So we can stay here and stare at this wreckage for as long as we like. She could have been at the center of the explosion here, and it wouldn't have bent her steel will. Do-do-do-do, don't mind me, just looking at things. What a terrible explosion it must have been. Even the steel girders have buckled and twisted in the blast. And what they call the bird cage was right in the middle of it all, just here. But look, Mr. Naruhodo, that metal grill on the floor looks as though it's designed to open. It does, doesn't it? Ah! If the floor had opened at the precise moment the explosion occurred, the birdcage could have dropped through and disappeared from sight. I don't think there's any doubt this was a very elaborate hoax, is there? It's called an illusion. So that seemed very important just now. Do-do-do. Not that. I meant to click up. Also, I actually have never seen The Prestige, although I know most of the plot of it, I guess. Look at that horn-shaped transmitting device. Isn't it amazing? It's exactly what I thought when I first saw it. It makes you think, doesn't it? If only it had just been a normal horn, none of this would have happened. It's almost exactly what I thought as well. I bet I can predict what you're going to say next in that case. Your next line is, "Nothing ever goes according to plan." I don't know, I would never say something like that. Get unjojoed, idiot. Oops. Keep clicking by accident. Alright. Let's talk to him. Ugh. Least approachable man in the world winner 10 years in a row. Be strong, Mr. Naruhodo. Your country and your assistant stand firm behind you. Lord Van Zieks. What? Well, beautiful weather we're having, isn't it? I thought I was making it quite clear that I didn't want to be disturbed. Apparently, you Nipponese are unequipped to read the... shoot. KY, what does it stand for? Kukiyomenai. Oh, I read them. So, what are you doing here? Entry to this area is prohibited. Oh, well, the thing is... Lord Chief Justice Strongheart granted us permission to investigate. I was just gonna say that. Are you trying to JoJo me now? Predict what I'm going to say? On the condition that we didn't disturb anything. And yet you've managed to disturb me. Ah! Counts. Look in the law book. It counts. Never mind. State your business then. Come to think of it, there are quite a few things I'd like to ask Lord Van Zieks about. Not least of which is that awful case, even though it's nothing to do with this. And also none of my business. Ask away, Mr. Naruhodo. You won't know unless you try. Was there a thing here that I wanted to present to him? Nah. We'll just talk. Talk about this guy first. Are the police trying to locate the engineer, Mr. Drebber, already? Surely, that goes without saying. We're very keen to see him found as well. The trouble is, we don't have much to go on, aside from the description of the man we heard in court earlier. Void Hunter, the rare Heaten in his natural habitat. Now see here, just because I missed 3 streams doesn't mean that this is a rare occurrence for me to stream. I totally keep up with my stream schedule, honestly. Plus, I don't technically have a stream schedule. Yep, I went there. Which, according to Professor Hairbrain, was of a tall, thin gentleman who has straight white hair and wears a black monocle. So, I was just wondering. I mean, I realize it's probably not possible, but we'd very much appreciate any more clues you can give us. Parabox? Oh, I forgot to. I wrote it down. I maybe even wish-listed it, but I did forget. I'm still rare because there's only one of me. Thank you. That's the other thing I have to do before 6.1 is get the dang Dabog duel out of the way. It's so obnoxious to only have one duel left to do in Bozja. And I go there, and I sit in the zone and kill Magitex for like 2 hours, and it doesn't spawn. And then it does, and it's like, oh, I get in. Oh, and I get clipped by one of the AoEs or something, so it doesn't count, so I don't get to do the duel. Or somebody else gets in instead of me. Or I do get in, but then die at 0.3%. I'm so done with Bozja. I hate it. I'm so done with Bozja, and especially done with the Dabog duel. I know there's going to be so much content, and that's why I want to get a bunch of stuff out of the way before 6.1 drops. Mainly the Dabog duel. And also a bunch of frontline achievements. Oh, I hate it so much. Wow, Susato-san really knows how to take the bull by the horns.
Fine, why not? I have a photograph of the man here from an investigation 10 years ago. Ah.
Oh, it's Estinian. Hi, Estinian.
Though it appears he already...
Oh, they mean a black monocle, like the lens is black? Like he's just walking around with sunglasses on one eye?
Though it appears he already had the black monocle at the time.
What a weirdo.
What?
Oh, nothing. I was just surprised that you shared that with us.
We all need the man's testimony in court tomorrow.
The investigation was 10 years ago and unrelated, but I do have his photo right here.
Which means we have to do everything we possibly can to track him down in the short time available. So why wouldn't I show you the photograph?
What is it about Lord Van Zieks? Sometimes I just can't work him out at all. Also, I love that this guy, like, 10 years ago started wearing a black monocle and he's like, yeah, I'm never gonna stop. I'm never gonna take it out. This is my thing now for a whole decade, maybe more. So, Clint was the name of your older brother, I understand, Lord Van Zieks.
You Nipponese, I always have to be on guard when you're around. So, you've been investigating me, have you?
Oh, no, it's not like that. Well, alright. It is a bit like that.
My older brother was also a prosecutor. He was the pride of the Van Zieks family. But Tragically, a vicious killer took him from us.
The professor, you mean? Oh, Is something funny?
That's the extent of what you've discovered, is it? I shouldn't be surprised.
Ow. I mean, he could be blind in one eye. Would you wear sunglasses over a single eye if you were blind in that eye? Who knows? Sorry? Oh, there's more to it then?
Lackluster work is very much your trademark, isn't it?
You're too kind. Going to tar all Nipponese with the same brush next? I mean, he never has before. Why would he start now?
So tell me, what's your interest in that historic incident?
As it happens, Lord Van Zieks, there's a rather curious case that's come to our attention. Are you aware of the Madame Tuspel's Museum of Waxwork by any chance?
I am, naturally. I believe that since last month I featured in one of the displays there for public scorn.
Of course, the infamous Reaper of the Bailey would have to be exhibited, wouldn't he? Well, a particular waxwork has been stolen from the place and held for ransom.
A particular waxwork? Which... Wait, you mean...
Yes, it's the professor. Mr. Sholmes is investigating the case as we speak.
I was unaware of that.
He's turned as white as a sheet. He already was. It wasn't very hard.
Ah, the file I requested for the trial tomorrow. Thank you.
Are you all right? Who is this man, Mr. Naruhodo? Lord Van Ziek's apprentice, apparently. So I'm not the only one. Susato-san can see it too. She can see the color of his soul? Is she an Asian? Lord Van Zieks, may we speak with your apprentice for a moment?
With him? Why?
He also made false teeth. Nope, I didn't get it. What? Or is it going to be his brother? Is Kazuma his last name? Is it going to be, oh, it's Kazuma's older brother, right? Right?
Kazuma.
I don't believe it. Your posture, your presence. It can only be, it's you, isn't it? But he's not wearing the same clothes that Kazuma-sama was wearing. How could you possibly recognize him? People only wear one outfit. Haven't you been paying attention? I felt something strange the very first time I encountered this cloaked figure. As if I knew him somehow. Can it really be you, Kazuma? Frontier psychiatrist I definitely never heard of.
Osoi. What's going on here? What is your interest in my apprentice exactly? You act as if you know the man or something.
Well, since when has he been since when has he been in your care? I don't recall you having an apprentice before I left Britain 6 months ago.
Lord Strongheart introduced me to him about 3 months ago. With instructions to mentor him as a prosecutor.
But he didn't tell you why, did he?
The man appears to be suffering from amnesia. He's forgotten every last detail about himself.
No, it's not La Habrea, it's Sid. It's Sid. Remember when Sid walked around with a cloak on because he couldn't remember who he was? He has amnesia.
Tomorrow he will appear in court at my side.
What?
He is to serve as my judicial assistant on Lord Strongheart's orders.
He'll be in court with us?
Now then, unless I'm much mistaken, I believe this conversation has run its course.
Oh, yes, thank you. I definitely saw a reaction there. When Susato called out like that, it really seemed to hit a nerve. When she called out Kazuma-sama. Wait a dang gosh minute! If he has amnesia, how does he remember how to speak Japanese? That doesn't make sense. Actually, it does make a lot of sense. Oh, nothing. Good. I'm glad there was nothing there. Let's go talk to Dr. Sith. Oh, a skeleton. Oh, an operating table with fresh blood on it. Why is the skull inside of a jar? And how did it get in there? Hold on. Wait a minute. Wait, is it not a jar? Is that just, that's just a handle on top. It's like a pheasant under glass, except the pheasant is a human skull. I believe this is it. Dr. Sith's laboratory. That chemical smell really assaults the nose, and there's plenty to assault the eyes in here, too. It looks as though the doctor isn't here. But we're here now, so we may as well do some sightseeing, don't you think? What a seasoned tourist you've become, Miss Susato. A jarring mystery. And yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I mean, we don't see it until 6.2, but interesting to see how they try and weave La Habrea back into the story after he's been gone for so long. We could just have a little look around, being careful not to upset any restless souls. And if we do upset them, then we'll just do the channeling maneuver, whatever that's called. Can't look at any of this. This isn't interesting. Oh, alright. A table and a set of sharp tools. When you consider each in isolation, it all looks quite innocent. So why is it that when you put them side by side, they seem so horribly disturbing? It might be best not to ponder it too deeply. Seeing the large tome that's open on the desk does make me wonder, though. How can anybody concentrate on bookwork with this acrid odor of chemicals in the air? You either have to have a cast iron constitution or a really terrible sense of smell. Look at all the bottles on the shelves in these cabinets. Oh, okay, he's looking inside the cabinet. What an assortment of chemicals. These ones here are labeled highly toxic. Ugh, that's worrying. Because there are also things that look like salt and pepper shakers in there. Oh, yes, and they actually say salt and pepper on them. The doctor probably spends a lot of time in this room, I suppose. Perhaps she has meals here sometimes. Life goes on, even when you're surrounded by death. Those large jars seem to have pale things floating around inside them. I suppose they're fruit liqueurs or something. Or like the pickled umeboshi plums we make back at home. Oh yeah, heavy Castlevania. They might as well have just named the fourth guy Dracula. Father had jars like that in his laboratory as well. I expect they're human organs in a preserving solution, probably as examples of some rare medical condition. Miss Usato. There's some things in the world that it's perfectly fine never to know about. Ever. Oh. So as I said, I'm sure they're fruit liqueurs or umeboshi. Aren't they? Of course. Ah, well, looky here. What a magnificent display case. The cherry wood has been polished to a high sheen, and the intricate carving is a joy to behold. Western cabinet makers really are very skilled, aren't they? Do you have nothing to say about the skeleton inside, Mr. Naruhodo? Miss Usato. Can't you tell that I'm trying very hard to avoid talking about the terrifying contents of the case? That's how I cope. I'll be sure to remember that from now on. I suppose this is Dr. Sith's desk. I would not like to work in a place like this. It's very tidy, though, isn't it, Mr. Naruhodo? Imagine how efficiently she must work. The lighting is poor, which is bad for the eyes, and the chemical smell can't be good for you. Not to mention the skeleton watching over you as you work, which is definitely bad for the nerves. Well, yes, those are valid concerns, I suppose. I can just about cope with the one-eyed Daruma doll watching over me, but that's all. But what can I steal? That looks like an owl and a crow up there. I know. And they haven't even twitched since we came in here. Well, no, they wouldn't have. They're taxidermy mounts, Mr. Naruhodo. I was afraid you were going to say that. I've been trying very hard to tell myself they're just sleeping, with their eyes open. Yes, I think perhaps you were wise to put something like your Daruma doll on display in the office instead. All right, well, that's everything, I think. So, was it pointless? Maybe it was pointless to come here when she's not here. She will not be here until our protagonist waves have accomplished something else. Out! Out with you.